Hi, this is Daniel, and welcome to Major Random, the show where I just basically talk whatever the hell comes to my mind. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about, you know, nerd stuff, and realizing that nerd culture's really permeated our the broader culture. I mean, fuck, you have Captain America movie last year. You had Avengers: Age of Ultron coming out next year. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy being the top movies. Batman, anime, um, Star Trek, and the new Star Wars movie coming out. I mean, think about it back when maybe some of our parents were growing up. I mean, my dad grew up in the '60s, late '60s. He was born in early '60s, and he was, I guess, the prototype for many of the nerds today. He was into Star Trek, Star Wars, Planet of the Apes. I mean, there's another movie that just came out, or a reboot specifically that came out recently, and fuck, man, you, I mean, back when my dad was growing up, science fiction and superhero stuff was kind of campy. You had the Adam West Batman show, where everything was done with sound effects and nothing was taken too seriously, and now you have shows like Arrow, Flash. You had Smallville several years ago, which are just, I mean, it's amazing. You got, I mean, these are things that are not taken seriously. My sister watches Arrow, and I look at some of the plots. I'm like, wow, this is some deep shit. And you have a lot of science fiction now coming to fruition. Some of it's kind of I mean, even let's go 10 years difference. Look at the, maybe not 10, but 20 years difference. Look at the Batman movies from the '80s and early '90s, like Batman Forever and Bat, Batman and Robin, and like Judge Dredd. Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. Not like the Burton and Schumacher movie. These movies are very serious. And look at Judge Dredd. You had Dredd with Carl Urban and Judge Dredd with Stallone. I mean, even Stallone said during the filming, this is just, why are we taking things so serious? It's just a comic book movie. And Dredd, Carl Urban, it was really it wasn't even like, it was a comic book that was taken very seriously. It was a sci-fi cop movie in a post-apocalyptic world, and you got, I know, so that a lot of other assessments like Constantine, the new TV show, which I really enjoy, is a comic book, which most people realize. I mean, there are those, and it's some it's darker material we're looking at now, and you've got, Star Trek is really big, became kind of big because of the Abrams remake. You have a whole, anime is now really big. My dad watched Gigantor and Astro Boy and Speed Racer when he was growing up. Not at his place because he didn't have a UHF antenna, but that stuff, when our parents were kids, they didn't even know I was from like Japan. They didn't even know some of the foreign stuff. They had, and then you had in the '80s, you saw some anime started leaking over the US, and you had stuff like Akira and Ghost in the Shell, which compared to American stuff is really can be a lot more fun, as in plot wise. Sure, there's a lot of same plots over and over again, like slice of life and shown, but a lot of the more adult stuff, and I'm not talking hentai, I'm not talking porn, I'm talking like Ghost in the Shell, I'm talking like Death Note, get really into some heavy topics, and I mean, Crunchyroll and Hulu now streaming it, that would have not happened back in the 90s. I mean, besides the fact the 90s internet couldn't handle the amount of bandwidth. But, I mean, it's so, it's permeated in video games. I mean, my dad was a kid. It was, Pac-Man, freaking Pong, Missile Command, Tetris. Although, Tetris, freaking awesome game. No, I mean, I've been fortunate to watch the evolution of video games. I mean, I watched it go from a simple, Mario Brothers playing with my cousin on a NES to my first home console actually being an SNES, having a Game Boy, playing Pokemon. I mean, yeah, Pokemon Yellow was my first handheld game, and I mean, I still play the Pokemon franchise till this day because it's one of the ways I bond with my sister. And games have become so interesting. You have stories like the Halo franchise, which has like really epic story. You have Elder Scrolls. You have all these different things that are now not this weird outcast, this fat guy with glasses living in his mother's basement playing D&D and only going out to do work and conventions with friends and overnight tabletop. No, although it's kind of true. I mean, there are people I actually can talk to at school, talk with, and in fact, last week I was doing career writing class, and it was right after Smash Bros came out and Pokemon, and I'm just they're like, hey, I saw you at the Midnight Roost. Yeah, I was getting Pokemon. Like, well, dude, I was getting Smash Bros. And the girl's like, you got Pokemon, dude? How far are you? And it was, I mean, it's not. The cool thing now is nerd culture is not ostracized. I mean, we're embracing this. It's fucking awesome. I mean, I really like the fact that that I don't have to be ashamed to say, yeah, I'm 20 something. I still like playing Pokemon. I've been playing since Gen 1 and I unabashedly love it. But I still am a production nurse. I still have a job. I still, I still help out with my family. I'm not this man. Okay, maybe a little bit. I'm not really a man child, and I'm just so glad to be living in this kind of era. I mean, I'm hoping that soon some of the sci-fi stuff I've checked out before, that we'll get come more to the forth and more video games. I mean, hell, I mean we haven't seen really good video games into movies lately, and I think with stuff like Halo Nightfall and a few others, like games, fan-made games, movies that you can, maybe we're on the verge of seeing video games becoming like comic books. I mean, that would be freaking awesome. I mean, can you imagine? They did try with Mario Brothers, but that movie sucked. It wasn't even Mario Brothers. It was Jurassic Park in another dimension with Dennis Hopper as the bad guy. It wasn't even really Mario Brothers. It was only Mario Brothers in the title. Right. Anyway, that's all I got to rant about right now. I mean, stay tuned for another rant. I don't know when, but likely within the next week. All right. See ya.